breakup of all time. 5:52 is our time here on Houston's Morning News. What would America look like if it split? And more importantly, what would the split look like? Stephen Dawson joins us. He wrote a piece about it on American Thinker. Welcome to the show, Stephen. First of all,
hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. Could we peacefully split? Could that happen?
Probably not. There'd be a lot of complaints verbally. I don't know about a heated debate, but there would sure be a rub between the two parties.
So what you're saying basically is we have already begun a split, at least inside our minds, mentally, in terms of not just our politics, but our values?
Yeah, but it's further than that. If you look at the companies moving out of New York, California, Illinois, and they're relocating to Tennessee, Texas, Florida, you know, it's economics too. The demographics shown, I saw the IRS reported so many people have left those states. So they're leaving with their feet, just mom and pops. They're going to somewhere what's more agreeable to them. And we're seeing this also in the school system. That's the biggest flashpoint today is the school systems.
Yeah, I agree. That certainly has gotten what all the soccer moms really paying attention to politics these days. You know, you mess with the kids and people figure that out, then there's hell to pay for it. So take us down the path as far as how this could potentially work. If we're not going to physically split up the country, are we kind of enforcing our own political segregation by moving to states that are more agreeable to us politically and therefore turning those states into a particular political persuasion that's not going to change?
Well, in April, the Republican Governors Association launched what they called a strike force to deal with the border problems, the immigration, the drugs coming over, the human trafficking. That, to me, is the largest visible, tangible example of what you're asking me. No governor is going to do that without widespread state support. I saw on the news your Texas GOP over the weekend had a resolution that they disagreed with the 2020 election outcome. And I don't believe those people are going to do that without widespread state support. So what I'm seeing is the federal failure, the states trying to respond. They are responding. They can't do it individually. It has to happen on a larger scale in a coalition. Now, that could coalesce around not only politics, but again, where the money meets the road. I doubt it's going to ever be just abstract. It's going to turn into don't come around here anymore. That defensive attitude of a state saying, you're not welcome here anymore. We don't care about your policy, but on the same token, this is how we're going to do it in our state.
Sounds like the return of states' rights. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Agreed.
Okay, so a lot of that revolves around the Supreme Court. And we've got basically a split Supreme Court. Are we talking about shredding the U.S. Constitution and setting up a new Constitution? That didn't work out too well the last time they tried to do it.
I agree with you. I've looked at that concept for decades, and I don't see that would be what would play out in anything I can see in the future. What I can see is the electorate that believes in the Constitution, embracing the Constitution, going back to what works. That's not a complicated path. It's achievable. It's tangible. What works is not only state rights, but the balance of the branches of government. And that's where the failures occurred. The failures occurred at the federal level. The failure occurred by the states being unwilling to enforce federal to work. The states have allowed it. It really is fixable by the states. But until the states fix it, it will never be fixed. It's not only the electorate, it's the federal employees too. The federal employees that live behind regulations, that testify with statements that don't matter, that don't supply data, the promise to supply something that doesn't come. Yeah. And in the end, no one loses their job. You know, leaders have a funny thing about them. They have an attribute that leads. And leadership is tangible. It's a past tense word. It occurred. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm hoping to lead. But leadership doesn't occur in the future. And that's where we've failed. We believe we're going to achieve something tomorrow. Yeah. And we're not.
Got a lot of work to do on this one, Stephen. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Stephen Dawson from American Thinker.